This video is going to be sort of like a discussion slash review of Chapter 71 of Dragon Ball Super, the Heater's Plan. I'm going to slowly go through it and sort of like give my thoughts and explain what's happening. So the chapter starts off with Whis explaining to Goku more about the Ultra Instinct state and how it should be natural. It shouldn't be something like a form, something that he needs to force upon himself. His body should just move and react instinctively, per the name. Sort of like what he was talking about, and I think he once said in the Resurrection F movie, how your body should just move naturally. That is truly Ultra Instinct. That is what the angels do. Their body is consistently in a state of Ultra Instinct. Now, Whis explains to Goku the only time you should really go into the Ultra Instinct form is when you're trying to surpass your limits and push yourself further than ever before. And I found that really interesting, actually, that his body should be able to just do it completely naturally, so there'll be no form, and we do come back to it later on in the chapter. I'll go into a bit more detail there. But he pretty much just swings around his staff and gives Goku a bit of a beating just because he can. Then he calls Vegeta over and he more or less says that you two need to start training, like right now, because there's kind of something huge going on. And they're asking sort of like, is it an enemy? Is it something we need to be worried about? But Whis is unsure at this point. He just says there's something huge and you two better get yourselves ready because it's bigger than whatever you've had to deal with beforehand, which is saying something. Then we cut to Planet Cereal where we see Granola again, and he's obviously waiting, as we found out from last time, to get intel about Frieza's location. But as of right now, he never went back to his home because he doesn't feel like he deserves to go back until he's defeated Frieza and earned the power that he was granted by the dragon. But he's still looking over the old man from a hill, the old Namekian. So that's pretty interesting as well, actually, that he is, even though he has obtained this power, he still does have a heart. He's not just this evil villain for no good reason now that he has accumulated the power. And then we go over to the Heaters, the gang of ne'er-do-wells who, beat up Granola at the beginning of the arc. And two of the sort of like lesser lackeys of the group, Oil and Maki, the little girl one and the sort of like big oaf, are getting sent off to ask that Jackal's like boss, who can answer any question ever. They're being sent to ask him what are the weaknesses of the Saiyans, Goku and Vegeta. So they're going to do that, but before we find out what happens there, we have the leader of the Heaters and the guy who looks a lot like Kid Buu, sort of telling us why he never let him fight when Granola showed up with his new power. He was the only one that wasn't allowed to fight. And he pretty much said, I didn't want to risk it. He says you could probably beat him, but let's just take it easy. We have other ways of dealing with this. And I'm not sure if that guy really is going to be that strong overall when it comes to finding out what he's actually going to be like. I really hope that he's actually really strong and puts up a considerable threat against them, but I really hope he's not just some lackey that anyone can take out sort of thing. And then we do go to Lord Zuno, Zuno's planet. Yeah, that's the guy who was with Jocko and stuff like that, who they asked. I think they asked for a location of one of the planet-sized Dragon Balls. And again, like Bulma had to do it, this Oil is also having to do it, give him a kiss. And part of his to make him part of his knowledge. And she obliges, so he tells them what the weakness is, but we don't get to know. So they figured out the weakness, and then we cut back to Goku. I think it's maybe been, I want to say, a month or so. They don't give you an accurate time scale of how long it's actually been since we cut away and cut back which is kind of irritating because I would like to know a specific amount, because it could have been a couple weeks, a month, 2 months. But either way, we're cut back to Goku. He's got his eyes closed. Looks like he's doing sort of Ultra Instinct movements whilst in his base form. He's not in the Ultra Instinct state. He's dodging all of Whis' sort of like staff throws and hurls. With his, as I said, with his eyes closed, he's managing to stop it with one finger, looking really impressive right now. But obviously, if one of them's improving, so does the other. And soon after, we have Vegeta at a waterfall. And Vegeta's using his God of Destruction key, I'm assuming, well, his Destruction key, not God of Destruction key, Destruction key, to destroy these reasonably sized logs, a few at a time. And as he gets to the top, a massive log, like, you can't really call it a log at this point, it's pretty much a massive tree is coming towards him. And Vegeta manages to blast the whole thing away with his Destruction key, which shows that they've both came on leaps and bounds really quickly, and they've really got themselves, well, trying to get themselves ready for this upcoming battle. Whilst we have Beerus, who's actually the one training Vegeta. He's the one chucking the logs in the river for him to try, but, you know, he doesn't want to seem like he's helping. And then Beerus gives him a smack for going too far and destroying too much of the log along with a part of his planet. And then we cut back to finding out what the weakness of Vegeta and Goku are with Oil and Maki. They're showing up on Earth, and they've arrived at Chi-Chi's front door. And I was like, when I first seen this, I was like, are they gonna kidnap her? Are they gonna attack her, kill her? I was thinking, like, it's obviously something nefarious. I was thinking along the lines of like how Beerus hit Bulma and Vegeta flipped. Are we going to get something crazy like that? That their families are their weaknesses? Are we going to get something along those lines? But instead, they go along the route of saying we're actually friends of Goku and we need his help. So they go to Bulma. Chi-Chi takes the two to Bulma. Bulma gets in touch with Whis. And then they say, our planet's being destroyed, we need the help of Goku and Vegeta. This is the strongest being ever, which is what they were expecting. They were expecting this guy to come up at some point. And they say that he's here, they're on our planet, we need your help, can you please come and help us? But obviously, they're using this as a ruse. Vegeta and Goku agree that, sure, fine, whatever, they'll go to this planet because they wanted to fight the most strongest in the universe. But I love this part. This is my favourite part of the chapter by far, is where before they leave, Beerus gives Vegeta sort of like a golden cufflink, the same sort of thing that he has on his ear, and tells Vegeta to put it on his ear to sort of like demonstrate that he is a user of Destruction Key. And I really, really, really enjoyed that. I thought that was great, because you never see Beerus showing any affection to anyone. And I think Vegeta looks really cool with that. But Whis took note of that. He's seen Beerus doing that, and sort of like a rivalry sort of way, he put his sort of like signature on Goku's gi, the way he done before when he was training the both of them. But it was they've sort of had a little challenge between the two of them. He's seen Vegeta he's seen himself and wanting to represent the gods through Vegeta and the destruction, and now he's wanting to put his symbol on Goku's gi to represent the angels, so you have the gods and the angels through Vegeta and Goku, and then they send them off to be on their way. But he does say before to be careful. Goku asks, like, how nasty is this guy going to be? And Whis is like, I'm not sure yet. I can't tell you, because he's just arrived. He's not done anything good or evil at this point, so he can't say for certain. So they agree, and they go off with the two, and they ask them, well, how long is this going to be exactly? How long is this going to take? And they get told that it's going to be, I think it's 17 days? 18 days, sorry. 18-day trip. So again, more waiting. Goku's just pigging out and Vegeta's training. We've got 18 days in the meantime. When, I'm assuming they've gotten close to the planet, there's a slight skip in time, I'm assuming. Oil is contacting Granola, and Granola thinks that she's going to be contacting him with the information of Frieza's location, but instead, she's telling him that two of Frieza's assassins are coming to get him. And he thinks this is a win-win, because he gets to sort of like try out his new powers, he gets to beat up some soldiers of Frieza's to try and get Frieza's real location. And she stirs the pot big time by saying not only are they assassins, but they're Saiyan assassins. Two of them managed to survive this whole time and work under Frieza, and he seems delighted that he's going to get revenge on Saiyans that killed his tribe, more or less. Like, well, no, tribe, probably not the right word, but killed his people. And now they're going to be able to get revenge on him. So he's more than happy. He wants this fight, but obviously they're not actually there. They're sort of making them fight each other in a roundabout way. So the end of the chapter is with Granola standing on top of his ship, waiting for the two Saiyans to arrive. So I'm hoping that next chapter we can just really get into a fight between them. I really want to see the extent of Granola's strength. I'm very curious as to what he can actually do, because he is the strongest in the universe. He might not be used to his powers yet, but I'm very, very, very curious about what might happen here. So that's the end of the chapter. If you guys liked, feel free to, like the video, subscribe, comment, get a discussion going. But until then, I'll see you next time.